Hello everyone, Shadowcat here, and I have a new video to show you all. Today we're going to show you all about damage modifications. So I'm going to give you an example on some of the basic modifications and some of the weird interactions when it comes to crits in the game. So for example, for the basic knowledge, attack, debuff, and buffs, same thing for defense and synergy, weaken, and enhance, all increase and decrease your stats by 20%, along with the opponents too. Being in rage or guts also increase your damage by 20% and your defense by 30%. Being in burst mode increases your damage and defense by 10% as well. And landing a crit will only deal 20% damage for the initial hit only, and after that it will only be 10% increased damage. So what I'm going to explain to you about is that crit damage have a weird modification, well, weird interaction between every other buff when it comes to defense buff, attack buff, and whatsoever. It has a weird interaction between those. So normally you get, let's say if I have an attack buff and I land a crit, I should be getting 40% increased damage, right? Well, since I have a crit and attack debuff, well, attack buff, I deal an additional 10% damage. Let me show you an example. So the grab here does 150. Okay, that's 150. With Eevee, I get increased by 30. So 20% of 150 is 30. Okay, so I'm gonna show crit as well just to show you all that I'm not missing up anything. So crits 180. Same thing. So if I have a crit along with an attack buff, it should be 210, right? 210 damage. Huh, 225. That's not right. Because what happened here is that you get an increased damage just from landing that crit with a buff. So you get a 10% increased damage from that. It also applies to the opponent's debuff as well. For the opponent's debuff, you get even more increased damage if they have a debuff for the defense. So instead of 10%, you do an increased 20% damage. So you do even more damage than that. So crits with defense debuffs gives you more damage compared to having an attack buff with crits. So it's a weird interaction. Now here's another weird interaction. So I'm gonna explain defense debuff. So if I land a crit, like I mentioned, I should do 30% damage, more damage. And they should deal, well, less damage now actually, yeah. I should do about, 120. I lost 30 damage because he has a defense buff. So let me land a crit and show you what happens. I should do 150, right? Should cancel out, right? 120. That's weird. Then my crit had no effect. It's because it's a weird interaction between crits and defense buff is that the initial hit bonuses won't apply whatsoever. I don't know why that's the case, but it happens here. Now, what if the buffs do stack along with each other when it comes to your buffs and the bonus buffs? Well, for this case, you still get canceled out from the defense buff from your crit damage, but you still get the extra 10% for having an attack buff when you land a crit. So you only do 10% damage from this interaction here. Same thing happens if the opponent has multiple buffs and debuffs as well. So for this case, I will lose the 20% bonus from landing a crit, but I'll get the 20% increase bonus from the defense buff or debuff along with landing a crit. So I'll only do like 20% increased damage from this. But yeah, there's a lot of weird interactions between crits that you can abuse and just work around for your advantage. So for example, you can most certainly just use CA as a valid option on your wake up. if you have a defense buff, since you'll be taking less damage against grabs. Or if you got an attack buff, then you can just focus on decent pokes and whatnot. But yeah, that's all I wanted to show you all. If you want to see a video explaining more about damage modifications, I can do that, or whatever really. Let me know down in the comments below. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.